The Shaevle SW-16 is a wireless style microphone. I also have a coupon code that I'll share with you later if you happen to be interested in purchasing this microphone. The box style of the mic is a little big and conspicuous, though it is not exactly uncommon in the world of lavalier microphones. Unfortunately, it also seems to be bottom heavy, which makes it so that it pulls away from your body when trying to set it. So that's kind of really annoying, unfortunately. The body of the mic in the receiver is lightweight and has a built-in clip on the back that is not removable, rotatable, or changeable. The microphone and receiver are both battery operated and have a battery life of roughly 5 to 6 hours and roughly an hour of charging time. These devices automatically pair to each other when both are turned on. I asked the company and they said that you should be able to pair a replacement microphone or receiver with another of the same model, even if they didn't come shipped together. Unfortunately, I don't think there's a way to buy just one or the other, so you would have to buy a whole new set, but if one of your devices breaks or needs replacing, you should be able to have a compatible spare of whatever is still working. And that is assuming that you are out of a viable time frame where the company would be willing to help you out specifically. Included in the box is a carrying case with very stiff foam inserts for protecting the microphone and receiver. Then on the other side of the case is a general pouch with a bunch of cords for allowing a wide range of connectivity for the receiver to a bunch of devices. It includes a stereo male-to-male auxiliary style cord for connecting to cameras and other compatible ports, a USB-C to C cable for connecting to phones and other compatible devices, a USB-C to A for connecting to standard USB devices such as your computer, and a USB-C to whatever this stupid Apple connector is for connecting to Apple phones. Additionally, it comes with a set of earbuds for monitoring and a wind muff for trying to block out some of the wind in outdoor conditions. Someone even said that this microphone doesn't work with recording on your phone, and it's quite possible that it just didn't work with their device. However, more than likely they were just using this wrong, and even my phone has a setting where you need to activate and change what microphone it's using, and for some reason by default my phone chooses to use the phone microphone rather than a connected microphone, probably for when you're using stupid earbuds that have a crappy little mic in them or something like that. So keep that in mind if this is how you plan to use your microphone. The microphone and receiver look close to identical at first glance and both say wireless microphone on the front, but they can be easily differentiated when inspected further. The biggest tell is that the microphone has a small silver grill at the top and the transmitter has a big power button. The microphone has slots to apply the wind muffler, though unfortunately I broke one of the legs of mine in the slot while trying to remove it. Both devices have a USB-C port on them for charging or USB-C connectivity and transmission in the transmitter's case. The transmitter has a 3.5 auxiliary output jack for taking the received signal and inputting it into the connected device such as your computer or camera. The microphone also has a 3.5mm auxiliary output jack, but it's meant to be used as a headphone out to monitor your outgoing recorded audio. We will talk a bit more about this when we talk about the effects and settings. The general sound quality is decent, though there may be a bit more bass than desired. I have this issue with my other wired lavalier mic as well though, so this problem is at least somewhat common. The mic transmits to the receiver on the 2.4 GHz signal band. This used to be the most commonly used band, but since things have been moving to 5 GHz and others, the band has been kind of freed up a bit. However, it is still a common frequency, so keep in mind if you use a lot of wireless devices, you may get some cross interference or other errors when being used in close proximity and at the same time. Now normally I do my content stationary, sitting down, and having the wirelessness is a very nice feature, but this really is meant for someone who walks around, kind of like, pacing or whatever, something like that. Who's gonna be moving around a workshop maybe, something like that. However, an issue that I have heard about is that the mic has poor handling rejection, which in this case means that it picks up sound from your clothes moving, things knocking into the microphone housing, and other general things like these. So I don't know, maybe have you heard anything weird right now? But I don't know, this hasn't been intense movement either. So yeah, I don't know. Okay, so as I'm walking back here, all the way back here is about 75 feet. And this is supposed to work up to 160. So as you can tell, 160 feet is a really far ways away, and I can't even measure it, unfortunately. I don't have enough flat land. Another issue that I have heard is that it has poor ambience rejection, which there was some car audio out in the back there. Maybe I would have put that in, hopefully. Now the thing about this issue is that it is a balancing act, especially with this system. It has a button to cycle through the 9 preamp levels. The higher the preamp, the lower your noise floor should be from the analog components and such, due to not having to boost your signal as much afterwards. However, that means that the mic is also going to be more sensitive and pick up more sound in general, and you get the opposite effect if you go lower with the preamp. Additionally, this mic has an omnidirectional microphone. Fly just got in my face. Additionally, this microphone has an omnidirectional pickup pattern. That means that it tries to pick up sound from just about every direction, and I assume this is to try and accommodate all the ways that you can apply the microphone to your clothing and such, and also ensure that you get, picked up properly. Another thing is the wind muffler. As stated before, I accidentally broke mine while trying to remove it before, and unfortunately we don't get much wind. I'm getting a little bit of a breeze back here, but I don't think it's coming through very much, so I can't really test it, unfortunately, for now. Another factor that could play into all of this is the ENC, or the noise cancellation setting, but we'll talk about that in a bit. Alright, let's do some testing with the different microphone levels. I'm standing pretty close to the vicinity of a pool filtration system, so that's making a decent little bit of racket. So we're going to see how well it cancels out and then what the noise floor is like. So this is at the maximum level, and this is what it sounds like for me personally. Might not be able to even hear the noise floor over the machine at this level. This is the minimum gain level, and this is what I sound like. I probably have to boost this a lot because my camera microphone is not, I have not adjusted this. This is the same clip. Here's what it sounds like, and the noise floor. This should be on the 5th level, so about a medium in the gain setting that this has available. So here's what I sound like. I have no idea if this is, working properly with the gain there, but here's the noise floor. And now here is the maximum gain volume with the electric noise canceling, or just noise reduction, noise canceling on, however you want to call it. This is what it sounds like. I don't know if it's any better, any worse, but here is the noise floor. The user manual doesn't have a lot about the actual effects in the devices, so I had to kind of figure them out on my own. The mic module has 3 buttons built into it. You can see if the effects are activated by looking at the LEDs by these icons on the front of the unit. The first one is labeled ENC. If you tap the button, it will be activated, and there will be a voice notification in the direct monitoring. They call it noise cancellation in the manual, so I assume the E stands for electric. And that also leads me to assume, based on the name and what I've heard so far, that there is just a post filter trying to cut out some of these super high-end highs and some of the real lows in the final output. It does not affect the natural sound floor of the microphone, however. Also built into the same button is the mute function. If you press and hold the button, it should mute the output of the device. This can be useful for if you use this for online meetings, or maybe you need a moment away from your presentation due to an interruption or something like that. So right here, if I hold this button, The next setting is the button with mic text, also with the growing bars next to that. This is the mic's volume, or probably more accurately, the mic's built-in gain level setting. We talked a bit about this before, but this mic has a powerful preamp or some other gain drive in it, because this thing can send a real strong signal from the source, which can help reduce the natural noise floor of the mic and its components. While this is great for production, there's no volume control for the direct monitoring of the microphone, at least that I know about. So if you want to use that and have the high gain setting active, the monitoring is just going to be pretty loud. And just to restate, there are 9 audio levels. There is a voice that talks to you in the monitoring when you hit the maximum and minimum levels, otherwise it just beeps at the rising volume levels. As the gain increases, it will be able to pick you up more clearly and should allow you to typically need less post gain. But this means you can also possibly pick up more sounds around you, and the handling sounds are probably going to be more pronounced and obvious. It's a give and take on this system. You're going to have to try and find a happy medium that works for you. The last effect is combined with the power button on the microphone. To turn the device on and off, you have to hold the power button down for a considerable amount of time. So there shouldn't be any way of accidentally turning the mic off unless the device gets like wedged up against your body or something kind of extreme like that. And then the combined setting is a built-in reverb, which is toggled on and off by tapping the power button. When you turn it on and off, there will be a voice notification in the direct monitoring again. The reverb seems to be a big hall reverb, kind of as if you were giving a presentation to a church, an auditorium, or even a great hall. The simulation seems decent. I haven't heard any distinct issues yet, but I also haven't super analyzed it. Overall, it seems decent if you want something like this, though there are no settings as far as I know for it. So there's no way to dampen or turn it down if this feels overpowering. Of course, you could also use external effects if you set this system up right to work with them. As stated before, the mic has a headphone port for connecting to and checking how things sound. When you activate a filter, it will have a robot voice talk to you in the monitoring. The notification voice does not get transmitted or output, of course. While the monitoring is a useful feature, I feel like you may look a bit silly if you wear the earbuds or headphones throughout your video. In-ear monitors may look a little more natural, but you would still have a cord coming out of your chest. And then of course there is just the volume issue. Next we can talk about the receiver. The receiver has 2 controllable effects on it. First, it has Bluetooth capability. This is to have music or other audio be sent to the receiver. This of course can be heard through the monitoring of the microphone. However, a problem with this is that again, it seems to be loud in the monitoring. When I used it, it also was distorted, but my phone has a crappy sound system that's kind of broken, so this probably isn't the microphone system's fault. I have these kinds of issues with Bluetooth speakers as well. Additionally, turning down the volume on my phone may have helped, but I didn't experiment with this too much because I don't see it as super practical when there isn't a volume control on the monitoring. But maybe for your presentation style, it may be, especially when it's combined with the next effect. It actually directly relates to the Bluetooth setting. Its icon on both the front of the device and under the button is a music sign with a slash through it, so I thought it would be the mute function. However, it is a ducking function. This means that when you have music playing into the device through Bluetooth, you can have the music drop its volume when audio is coming through the microphone. I specifically phrased that last statement that way because it will lower the volume when any audio comes through the mic. It has no way of knowing what the audio is. So I assume if you get handling audio in the transmission or anything like that, it's going to lower the volume of the music. It also lowers it a decent bit, and again, I don't think there are any settings to change that. A small side effect that I noticed when I was doing my initial review is that the notification audio from the microphone unit is not able to be heard in the recording. However, when I activated and deactivated the ducking function, it was input into the recording. So there is a Setting to actually mute it?
Network on.
What?
Network off. Network on.
I cannot tell what the hell it's saying. I don't know if it will do that with all methods of connection, but I was using the auxiliary out from the receiver to go to a camcorder at that time. But that is all the information I have about this lavalier microphone system. If you want to purchase this mic, please use the affiliate link in the description below. It adds no cost to you and helps me out. Shaevle was also nice enough to provide an exclusive discount code for 10% off your purchase of this microphone system. So at checkout, use code FV5TMNZV to get your discount. You have to be kind of quick about it though, because this code will expire. Shaevle was even nice enough to extend the discount code time period so that I could have time if I needed to redo some stuff in this video. So it's actually available until September 30th of 2025. I also have it written in the description, which you would have seen if you went and used the affiliate link. If you found this video informational or enjoyable in any way, please leave a like. I normally do music and 3D printing related stuff on this channel, but also generally do whatever I want. I also want to talk about general studio gear more often when possible. So if any of that sounds good, please consider subscribing. That's all I have to say for now, so I'm going to say bye-bye.